Good evening, everyone. So we warmly welcome you to the second session of Skillora 2021 conducted by the Rotaract Club of University of Peradeniya. Yesterday was our first session and it was concluded successfully with quite a significant number of participants. So today it's our second day and we can see a lot of enthusiastic people have joined with us. So we once again warmly welcome you all. So before we begin the session, just a quick reminder to the workshop about what is going to be. So it is about content writing and journalism. So I hope you will get the maximum out of these 2 hours. Another small reminder to our participants, that is, participants, please keep yourself muted and give us the maximum support so that we could conduct the session smoothly without any issues. Nipun?
Yes. I would like to remind you that you take relevant today discussion will be given at the end of the session. From this, we will evaluate you and you also provide this valuable e-certificate. So, today we invite a very special person into the join with to make this program success. Many students at the University of Peradeniya know her by name. She has been an iconic character in her school days as well as her university life, pioneering a number of different projects and associations. Also, this young talented lady has gathered a large number of national and international achievements under her name so far. She is currently the Vice President of the Rotaract Club of University of Peradeniya and was recently awarded as the Best Coordinator in the External Relations at 2021 Brandisa. Now, it's time for us to see whom this wonderful character is. It is none other than Rotaractor Hilma, whom we all know well. So, Miss Hilma, we warmly welcome to you this second day of the Skilloras 21 today. So, without further ado, I will hand over this session to you, Miss Hilma.
Okay, so first of all, thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. So I'm very much pleased to be here and thank you so much for inviting me. So before starting the session, I would like to see all your faces, like rather than talking to the screen, I would like to see all your beautiful faces. Can you all open your cameras? If possible. So I'll share my screen. Okay. So yeah, I hope the screen is visible to you all. So today is all about content writing. So moving on, so I am your speaker today, so you should know what experience I am having in the content writing area. So these are my experiences, right? Currently I am working as a news writer, editor and a publisher in the Asian Truth News website. And I'm a former news editor and publisher in Colombo Today news website. And currently I'm a marketing, PR, communication and content writing intern at Emerging Markets FinTech Singapore. And I'm the head of journalism in Perabeats, the university media unit. And also currently I'm a content writer and a blogger in the entity support team of ISEC in Latvia. And also I'm a former content writer in national showcasing team of ISEC in Sri Lanka. Okay, so moving on. So what's in it for you? These are the things that I will be covering today: content writing, public relations, and journalism. So before moving on, let's do a game, because some of you might have a lot of assignments to do, like samaharu nidagena negative nathi. So let's do an icebreaker to energize yourself. So the icebreaker is, have you ever? So like I'm asking, I'm going to ask some questions starting from have you ever. So you are going to use the chat and answer the questions, okay? And all these questions are related to the session that I'm going to do today. Okay, so moving on. The first question is, have you ever written a letter to someone? Letter in the sense in your handwriting, maybe to your friends, maybe to your girlfriend, boyfriend, maybe to your family members. So if yes, you can type pizza in the chat. If no, you can type burger in the chat. So I would like to see some answers in the chat. Okay, I can see both answers, pizzas and burgers. Okay, pizzas, burger, pizza. Okay, that means you have written letters to your someone, written like in your handwriting. That's very nice. Okay, a lot of pizzas are there. Nice. So the second one, have you ever written a caption for an image? Caption for an image or a video? Image or a video. So if yes, you can type cat. If no, you can type dog. Okay, there are a lot of cats. Cat. I didn't see a dog yet. Okay, there are dogs as well. Okay, so nice. That means you have written captions, right? So that will be very useful for you. Okay, so the next thing, have you ever plagiarized content from Google and ended up in getting 0 marks in your assignments or in your exams? If yes, you can put, you can type Ron. If no, you can type Harry. Let's see who have plagiarized content from Google. Okay, Harry. Okay, that means very good children, very good students. Harry, no Rons. That's really good. No Rons. That means you have not plagiarized and ended up in getting 0 marks. Okay, I can see 1 run as well. Okay, so moving on, this is the last one. Have you ever sent an email with mistakes in it and you realized in later after sending? If yes, you can type Moderna. If no, you can type Pfizer. Have you ever sent an email with mistakes? Yes, Moderna's. Okay. Yeah, so many Moderna's there. No Pfizer's? Okay, I can see Pfizer's as well. Okay, so nice. So from this Energizer, I hope you enjoyed this, and also I got to know things about you. Okay, so that will be very beneficial for me when doing the session. Okay, so let's get into the session. So today I'm going to first talk about content writing. So what is content writing? Can I have some answers in the chat? Any answers, like it can be 1 word, 2 word, or a sentence? Anyone? In your idea, what is content writing? What is writing content? Creating content? Come on, guys, you can type in the chat, or you can unmute and tell as well. Okay, describe the expression, brief introduction, communication through written words. Yes, I can see so many nice explanations. Yes, true. So here I have highlighted in red some important keywords. So content writing is the process, like it is a process of planning, writing and editing content because of the digital marketing purposes. That means first, before we write content, we are like planning, right? What we are going to do, what we are going to write. Like we have to market this thing. So for that, what we are going to do now. After that, you have like you are going to put all those ideas into the paper. What you planned, you are going to put that into the paper, and then you are going to type it, or like after planning, you can type it rather than writing as well. So after that, you are going to edit your content because you have to check the grammar, check the spellings, check plagiarism. And so all that things you have to check. We are doing this for digital marketing purposes. That means for marketing, like content writing is a part of marketing. Like in marketing, there are various sectors, right? Digital, like graphic designing, video editing, also the content writing. So moving on, with content writing, one more thing is associated with content writing, that is PR. What is PR? Can I get some answers in the chat? What is the long form of PR? Yeah. Any answers? You might have heard this before. Yes, public relations. Very good. Yes, so PR is a short form for public relations. So why we need public relations? Now I'll take the example, the Rotaract, the society I am a part of. So we have Rotaract here and we have general public here, right? So if we want to reach to the general public, what we are going to do is we are marketing our products, we are marketing our events using social media through PR, right? Social media is a part of PR. So that is a bridge between the company or the society and the general public, okay? So that is basically what public relations is. So moving on to content writing. So there are so many types of content. So I will be showing you some types of content writing, but I'm not going to go in detail all of this, but I will talk about some, okay? So caption writing, description writing, essay writing, letter writing, article writing, blog writing, news writing, story writing, and also poetry. So these are the types of content that people write, okay? So moving on to first type of content, that is caption. So in your idea, what is a caption? So here I have a definition, but in your idea, what is a caption? What captions do? So you may have seen so many posters, so many videos in WhatsApp groups, in Facebook, in Instagram, and under that image and the video, you have seen a short message, right? So that is the caption. So caption is a text that appears below an image or a video, and it can be two sentences or some words. Yes, so it is a short message, okay? So let's see what should a caption be like. So there should be keywords, not very long sentences. There should be short keywords to identify. And before writing the caption, you should find your purpose. Why I am writing this caption? What I want to give to the audience, and you should find your audience as well. Like we have an event that we are giving to the school children, but we are writing the caption to the undergraduates. So that is not very effective, right? So you have to identify your audience, and then you have to identify your purpose, and you can use keywords. And there are no styles when writing captions. There are no styles. You can use conversational language, that means day-to-day language, no deep words, okay? And the tone of the post should be equal to tone of the caption. That means in the poster there's something, and in the caption there's another different thing that will confuse your audience, confuse your reader as well, right? So it should be equal, like the tone of the post or the video should be equal to tone of the caption. And as I mentioned before, you can use short sentences, not very lengthy ones. So the length is like 2 or 3 sentences, okay? And the beginning is very important. Like you can directly address your audience, and you can use you effect, okay? So if you use you effect, that will go to the minds, right? And it should be very attractive to see, attractive to the eyes of the audience. And you may have seen in some captions there are quotes said by some ancient people and also modern people. So you can use quotes, but you should use it wisely. Like in some captions they're just put in the quote, but not the author of the quote, who said the quote. We should put the author's name as well, okay? And you should you can include new points to the reader, like those who read the captions, they can find new points. And emojis. So this question is for you. So in captions, do we use emojis? Is it okay to use emojis in the captions? You may have seen so many captions, right? So can I get some answers in the chat? Can we use emojis in the captions? Yes, no answers. Can we use? No, some tell no, some say yes. Okay. Okay, so I can see both answers. In captions, we can definitely use emojis. That is totally fine, because caption is a small message that we are giving to the society with a poster or a video, right? So in captions, we can use emojis, and you may have seen captions with so many emojis, right? So if there are emojis, the reader's eyes will go to that, right? So you can use emojis in the captions. That is fine. And credits, that means who made the poster, who made the caption, you have to give the credits to them, because they are doing a great job, right? They are making the poster, making the video, and making the caption. Making a caption is also takes time. Okay, it is, yes, it is 2 or 3 sentences, but it takes time. So you have to give the credits. And use hashtags. Yes, can we use hashtags in the captions? Have you seen? If yes, in the middle or at the end, where can we use the hashtags in captions? In the middle or at the end? Middle or end? End. In the end, yes. So in Twitter, you may have seen they are using hashtags in the middle, right? You can see blue color ones in the black middle of the black color word. So in Twitter, they are using hashtags in the middle, but in captions, we are using hashtags at the end. Okay. And call to actions. What are call to actions? Can I have some examples for call to actions? Anything? We call the short form is CTA. What are the examples for call to actions? Donate, okay. Anything else? Yeah. There are so many call to actions. Protect, submit, fill out this petition, okay. Okay, simply links, right? So you can say like you are giving a caption, and you can take something back from them. Like you can put a link and ask them to go to the link and like the page, or write a comment or share it. So that those are call to actions. So you can use those things, and also you can ask a question at the end, and you can take comments for that. So those are called call to actions. So you can use call to actions in captions as well. So when comparing with other types of content, captions are really easy to write and very short. Okay. Yes. So moving on, we have descriptions. Okay. So we talked about captions. Now we have descriptions. So what are descriptions? Descriptions are like we are giving the details about someone or something in detail, like in depth. We are giving the details. So just imagine, now we have a poster. Okay, now we are going to organize an event. Okay, so for that event, we are going to make some poster, and we are going to publish. We are going to publish the poster. So with the poster, we are going to put a message. Okay, so that is called caption. Caption is to support the poster, support the event. Okay, that is a supporting message for the event. But description is more into the general explanation of what is going to happen about the event. Okay, so description can be like 2 or 3 paragraphs. Okay, so in the description also you have to mention the purpose, why we are doing this event, for what. So you have to mention the purpose, and use the active voice. I'll tell you why you have to use active voice rather than passive voice. So I'll show you in the coming slides. And keep length of descriptions to what makes sense. Like don't use so long sentences or so short sentences. You can decide the length of the description or the length of the sentences. And you have to utilize the 5 senses. Okay, that means you have to see whether this is eye-catchy or whether this is very attractive. So you have to use the senses, and you have to include what's relevant. Don't use unnecessary things in the description, because that is 2 or 3 paragraphs. You have to tell about the purpose of the event, and when and where that is happening. So you have to mention all those things. So don't use unnecessary things. You can include what is relevant, what is necessary. And remember the point of view. Like you can use first person point of view or third person point of view, that is fine. So remember the point of view, like in the beginning we are using the third person point of view, that means he, she, it, they, but at the end we use first person, that means I, we. Don't use that. So remember the point of view and use one point of view, and spread out your description. Yes, like you can use 2 or 3 paragraphs, not just the one paragraph with 10 or 20 lines, okay? And be specific. As I mentioned below, don't use unnecessary things. Be specific to the matter, because this is not a article, not an article. This is a small description. So this is about description. I hope caption, like you got the idea about caption and description, the difference of that. Moving on, we have articles. So what are articles? Are there people who wrote articles in this meeting? Can I have yeses, no? Any type of article? Okay, yes. Only one. Okay, so after this session, you can write so many articles, okay? So we have one, yes, yes. So article is a piece of written thing for a larger audience, not like a description. Here we are focusing on a larger audience, and we are starting with the same thing, purpose and the audience. So you have to know your purpose. Why I am writing this article? For whom I am writing this article. So the audience and the purpose you should identify. And the topic, you have to use a very eye-catchy topic, like when someone reads your topic, they should feel that it is very interesting, and they should read the article. And then research. So you have to research before writing anything, because yes, it's true, you may have really great ideas, but still you have to research on Google, on internet, like or Facebook, Instagram. You have to research about that topic and get points. Okay, in point form you can get points, and then you can use that in your article. And after researching, you have to outline your article. That means first I'm going to, in the first paragraph, I'm going to talk about the topic. In the first paragraph, about the purpose. And then in the second paragraph, I'm going to talk about this. Like that, you have to outline the body. And after that, you have to give a conclusion as well. Conclusion means the ultimate goal, why you wrote the article, okay? And it should be very simple. So keep it simple, and you can use images, you can use graphs, you can use tables. So keep it simple, keep it eye-catchy, and you have to use proper grammar, spelling, and proper punctuations. So in descriptions, not in description, in captions, you don't have to use proper like grammar. You can use words starting from the middle, like you can use uh, instead of using want to, you can use wanna. That is really fine in captions. But in articles, descriptions, you can't use that. You have to use the proper grammar, spelling, and proper punctuations. Punctuations are also really matters. Punctuations in the sense, the comma, the point, the full stop, okay? And easy language, don't use so hard words. You can use simple words, simple language, and avoid repetition. That means don't use the same words again and again. It will irritate the reader. So you can use different words, like you can use synonyms if you want, like avoid repetition. And use of paragraphs, yes, you can use paragraphs when writing articles. Like you can use 10 or 20 paragraphs, that is not 20, you can use 10 or 12 paragraphs, that is fine. And make it friendly, yes. How to make it friendly? You can use images, you can use graphs, tables, or yes, you can use those things to make it friendly. And avoid using the points which interest you, not only you, not the general public. That means now you are reading something that seems very interesting to you, but for the general audience, for the others, that may not a interesting topic, okay? So you have to think from the perspective of others when writing articles. And good and logical thinking, yes. Good and logical ending, yes. So the end, the conclusion should be very nice, very good. So you can give, if you are writing about some interesting topic, you can give suggestions at the end, what you can do, or you can give the conclusion in both areas, negative and positive. So you can do those things. So blogs are really important. So this is the place where we can earn money. Okay, so who use blogs? Can I see some answers? Who use blogs mainly? Blogs are used by companies mostly, okay, because we use blogs, we write blogs to bring people to that website. Yes, foundations, yes. So if you write a blog and like blogs are in a website, right? Now we have a company or we have a society. So in the website of that society or the company, we have a separate tab called blogs. So in that only we are going to post it to get permalinks to main websites. Yes, true. So in the blog area only we are going to post the blog. So if we post the link, so people will come to that blog and read it, right? So eventually they have come to the website of that company or the society. So blogs are a way of getting people into your website. So when writing blogs, also you have to identify the audience to whom you are going to write this, okay? Why you are going to write this, and the topic. Topic should be very attractive. And outline research, as I mentioned before, you have to outline your content and you have to research it. And you can use images, but not a lot. Okay, you can use 1 or 2 images, and you can use paragraphs and the lead paragraph. What is the lead paragraph? Can I get some answers? What we called as lead paragraph? Guys, I want answers. What is the lead paragraph? You can guess. Introduction, very good. Yes, yes. Lead paragraph is the introduction, the beginning. So the lead paragraph should be very, very, very eye-catchy and very interesting. So if someone is reading the lead paragraph, they should read the others as well. So lead paragraph should be the introduction. The beginning should be very nice, and then the body. Body is really important. So I'll try to show some blogs as well, which I wrote. So in the body, you can mention all the things, but not in long sentences, because in blogs we use really short sentences and short paragraphs. For a paragraph, like 3 sentences. Okay, in blogs we write like that. So use short sentences and short words. Don't use deep words. Like simple words you can use. And the conclusion is also important as the lead paragraph. In the conclusion only you are telling why you wrote the blog and what your ultimate suggestion or the ending is. Okay, and SEO and readability. Okay, so this is really important when it comes to blogs. So what is SEO? What is the longer form of SEO? For this, I need some answers. Do you know what SEO is? Have you ever used this SEO? Yes, search engine optimization. Yeah, any other answers? Okay, search engine optimization. Anything else? Is this correct? Make a hurry. Search engine optimization. Yes, it's true. SEO means search engine optimization. So in the later slides, I will explain this and also the readability. I will touch upon these 2 things. Proofread and edit. Proofreading. So I will come to that as well in the end. So editing. So what is editing? I know here we have some editors, we have writers. So can I know why we edit a blog or an article at the end? Why we are again editing that? So we wrote the article, that is enough, that is done. But why we are editing that again? අයි අපි edit කරන්නේ මොකද්ද හේතුව answers අයි අපි edit කරන්නේ ලියපු දෙයක් yeah to make it better yes others yes corrections to check grammar spelling structure to make it more readable yes true I'm so happy to see these answers yes so yes corrections so now we have written the article written the blog but again we have to edit that because there can be mistakes right there can be mistakes there can be grammatical errors and there can be plagiarism as well like you are taking the information from Google and straight away you are putting that in your blog or the article so there can be plagiarism as well yes to make it more attractive simplify yes all these answers are right to improve the quality of the content yes true and then so we are now editing it and after that we are publishing the blog okay so we are publishing the blog and then we are sending the link to all the people that we know also we are publishing the link or the blog in Facebook Instagram as well after that the people come to see it people come to the blog that means people come to their website so they get to see all those things in the website and also in the blog so after that CTA before publishing we have to use CTAs as well so in the blogs you can use links as I mentioned before you can use links or you can write contact us for more information like that you can use CTAs call to actions okay so blogs are really important when writing content okay so SEO as I mentioned before SEO is the process of taking steps to help a website or a piece of content to rank higher on Google search engine pages like in Google if you type something if you type cat there will be so many websites websites ගොඩාක් එනවා cat කියලා type කරොත් so ඒ ඔක්කොම websites වලින් උඩින්ම පේන්න නම් ඔයාලගේ SEO එක හරියටම හදන්න ඕනේ 100% SEO එක ලස්සනට හදලා තිබ්බොත් so ඔයාලගේ website එක rankings වල higher උඩටම ගන්න පුළුවන් Google so I'll show this as well and then the readability means now the reader is coming to your blog and reading so නිකම්ම කියවනවා නෙවෙයි එයාට තේරෙන්න ඕනේ he or she should understand that so එයාට තේරෙන්න නම් අපි readability හදන්න ඕනේ readability හදන්න තියෙනවා flash reading easy test කියලා එකක් so in this test if your readability score is between 90 to 100 that means reader ඔයාගේ blog එක කියවන්න very easy okay even 11-year-old student can read your blog that means you have using simple words you have using images so එහෙමනම් පොඩි ළමෙක්ට නම් කියවන්න පුළුවන් so මේ test එක තියෙනවා blogs වල if you are using WordPress එකේ තියෙනවා so you can see your score and then if it is between 80 to 90 it is also somewhat easy to read and 70 to 80 fairly easy to read but මෙන්න මේ තුන 60 to 70 නම් 13 years 15 years ළමයින්ට තේරුම් ගන්න පුළුවන් can understand but ඊට පල්ලෙහා ළමයින්ට බෑ 50 to 60 fairly difficult to read that means චුට්ටක් අමාරුයි කියවන්න ඔයාලගේ blog එක ඊට පස්සේ 30 to 50 නම් හොඳටම අමාරුයි undergraduates college graduates that means who are doing jobs and all they can easily understand but others can't read it is difficult can read but it is difficult to understand තේරුම් ගන්න අමාරුයි මොනවද මේ කියලා තියෙන්නේ කියලා and මේ 0.7 අතර නම් ලියන්න එපා එතකොට කොහොමත්ම තේරුම් ගන්න බෑ university undergraduate කෙනෙක්ට උනා university graduate කෙනෙක්ට උනා and next okay so tools for content writing can I see some answers for this මොනවද tools තියෙන content writing වලට අපි use කරන there are so many tools there are so many tools can I see some answers I have some questions. I'll answer the questions at the end. Is it okay? Yes. WordPress, Quora, Medium, WordPress, anything else? There are so many things lamai. Wala type කරන්න ගන්නේවා. Effects, Grammarly, yes. Anything else? Wala type කරන්නේ මොකේද? Okay, Canva. Right, yes, Word. Fonts, Word. Yes. So the first thing is this Microsoft Office ලේසිම දෙන්නේ. ඔයාලා Microsoft Office use කළා තමයි මේ ගොඩක් ලේසියෙන් හැමදේම කරගන්නේ. But for content writing we mainly use Microsoft Word. Okay. And then this G Suite. මේක තමයි that now trending because like 2 or 3 people at the same time can come to the this Google Slides or Google Sheets and edit the thing. But in Microsoft Office, only you can edit. Others can't come to that and edit. But G Suite applications වල 10 දෙනෙක් තුනක් ඇවිල්ලා ඒක edit කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක තමයි තියෙන speciality එක. So මේකේ Google Docs වල අපි type කරනවා content. And you can upload all those content, all those blogs that you have written to Google Drive. එතකොට ඔයාලගේ computer එක කැඩුනා කියලා හිතමු. එතකොට අර තියෙන ඔක්කොම ටික යනවානේ. But if you have uploaded all the things to Google Drive, ඒ ටික හැමෝම තියෙනවා. එතකොට ඔයාලගේ email එකේ තමයි තියෙන්නේ. G Suite කියන්නේ ඔයාලගේ email එක හා සම්බන්ධ වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. එතකොට Microsoft Office, G Suite, and then yes, as some people told, WordPress. WordPress is really important when writing blogs. And yes, Grammarly. Grammarly මම ඔයාලට දැන් පෙන්නලා කියලා දෙන්නම් Grammarly එකකින් මොකද වෙන්නේ කියලා. ඒක මාරම effective and very important application. And then Quillbot. Quillbot කියන එකත් මම use කරන එක, but there may be some other applications as well. I use Quillbot to paraphrase something like if we are getting a passage from the internet and we can't put the same passage because එතකොට plagiarism නේ. So what we can do is we can paraphrase that. Paraphrase කියන්නේ සමාන වචන දාලා ඒක ආයෙ ලියන එක. Okay, මම දැන් පෙන්නන්නම්. So first we'll go to Grammarly. So I hope you can see. Can see ne? Yes. So yes. So I have a blog already written one. So මම ඒක example එකකට අරන් පෙන්නන්නම්. So Grammarly application එක download කරගන්න. That is really important for content writers. We can do so many things using Grammarly. It's loading. Still loading. Okay. So make it. So you can see there are lines in so many colors. රතු පාටින් තියෙනවා, නිල් පාටින් තියෙනවා. So what are those lines? So මම මේ එකක් උඩ ගිහින් touch කරොත්, click කරොත් මෙතන Grammarly එකෙන් පෙන්නනවා මට එකක්. So industry කියන එක spellings වැරදි. So they are showing the correct spelling. So if I click this, ඒක එතන හරියනවා. ඊට පස්සේ ඊළඟ එක. So මෙතන තියෙනවා emerge කියලා එකක්. එතන මොකද්ද තියෙන්නේ? එතන grammatical error එකක් තියෙනවානේ. has කිව්වම emerged වෙන්න ඕනේ. So එතන ඒක click කරාම ඒක හරියනවා. ඊට පස්සේ මෙතන for. So buyers are given the option to purchase the two, right? So Grammarly is giving us the correct thing. So මෙතන are given, that is correct. But මම අර ඔයාලට කිව්ව මතකද don't use passive voice, use active voice කියලා. So Grammarly කිනු කියන්නේ ඒක මෙතන passive voice use කරන්න එපාලු, මේක active voice කරලා ලියන්නලු. කොහොමද active voice කරන්න පුළුවන්? give එක ඉස්සරහට අරගෙන අර දැන් actively වෙන එකක් විදිහට කියන්න පුළුවන් passive නොකර. ඊට පස්සේ ආය මෙතන ගත්තොත් one type of මෙතන grammarly කියනවා මෙතන type of කියන එක ඕනේ නෑලු ඒක unnecessary. So we can remove that. Okay. Also if I go to this මෙතන මොකක්ද වැරද්ද තියෙන්නේ? Can someone tell? Is it a grammar mistake or is it a mistake in punctuation marks or yeah, what is that? Answers. මොකද්ද මෙතන තියෙන mistake එක? මොන mistake එකද? Yes, punctuation. Yes, because මෙතන ඒගොල්ලෝ කියනවා මේකට කලින් you got enough money in your account කියලා මෙන්න මේක එන්න ඕනේ. ඊට පස්සේ otherwise you will be charged a late fee. So they are giving the punctuation errors as well. Okay, here what is happening? මෙතන මොකද මේ ඒගොල්ලෝ කියන්නේ? තේනවද? So මෙතන තියෙනවා ගොඩාක් දිග sentence එකක්. So Grammarly is telling it is hard to read sentence. So ඒක Grammarly කියන app එකට hard read කරන්න අමාරුයිලු. So එහෙනම් මිනිස්සෙක් read කරද්දී ඒක කොහොමද අමාරුයිනේ. So we have to change or we can remove any unnecessary words or we can split into two sentences. මේකම මේ දිග sentence එක sentence දෙකක් විදිහට කරලා ලියන්න පුළුවන්. මෙතන එතකොට Grammarly එක ඔයාලට reason එකක් දෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ කරන්න පුළුවන් suggestions උත් දෙනවා. And මෙතනත් yes passive voice. So මේ හැම එකක්ම passive voice. මෙතනට આવොත් okay. So මෙතන මොකද කියන්නේ? Missing all for repayments for $300 purchase. මෙතන repayments කියන එකට ඒගොල්ලෝ වෙන වචන දෙකක් දීලා තියෙනවා because it seems nice. Repayments කියනකට වඩා rebates or refunds කියන්න පුළුවන්. So they are giving that words. So we can change that if necessary. It was a payment must be made. එතන මොකද්ද කියන්නේ? එතන must be made නොකර. ඒගොල්ලෝ කියනවා must make payments. එහෙම කියලා කියනවා. So a credit card, unlike a credit card, එතන they are telling that that is an unnecessary or an incorrect word. So they are telling to remove there. Unlike credit card. So like this, you can use Grammarly. So here, මෙතන, so I have written write it down or set an alarm කියලා. ඒගොල්ලෝ කියනවා please කියන එක use කරන්නලු. So please write it down or set an alarm. So now can you see? තව මේක 19 තියෙනවා mistakes. So ඒ 19 mistakes you can make here. ඒතර ඔයාලට මෙතන පේනවා ඔයාලගේ blog එකේ correctness එක also clarity, whether it is clear or not, and engagement freely like engage වෙන්න පුළුවන් ද audience එකට ඇවිල්ලා, and delivery just right. delivery කියන්නේ කොහොමද මේක audience එකට deliver වෙන්නේ. So මෙතන මේ දෙකම complete නිසා මෙතන ticks දෙකක් වැටලා තියෙනවා. So මේ දෙක හරි. ඔයාලා මේ දෙකත් හරි කරා නම් overall score එක මෙතන 100 එනවා. Okay? And again Grammarly එකේ මෙන්න මේ මෙතන තියෙන plagiarism එක එබුවම click කරාම ඔයාලට බලන්න පුළුවන් ඔයාලා Google එකකින් ගත්ත ඒවා මෙතන තියෙනවද කියලා. Directly Google එකකින් අරන් දාපු ඒවා. Okay. So can you see මම මේ ඔයාලට පෙන්වන්න ඕන නිසාම Google එකකින් අරගෙන දාලා තියෙන්නේ. Not that I am plagiarizing. Okay. So මෙතන so දැන් මේක click කරපුවම ඒක තියෙන website එකත් පෙන්නනවා. ඊට පස්සේ ඒ website එකට ගියාම මේක හැමම ඒ website එකේ තියෙනවා. එතකොට ඒගොල්ලෝ කියනවා ඒක plagiarize කරලා කියලා. ඊට පස්සේ මේක so this is also that. So මේ exact sentence එක තියෙනවා මෙන්න මේ website එකේ. ඊට පස්සේ මෙන්න මේ sentence එක තියෙනවා මේ website එකේ. So මේක in this website. So බලපුවම 69% plagiarism is there. So in the university ඒගොල්ලෝ lecturers ලා බලනවා so 5% or 20% වලින් අඩුවෙන් තිබ්බොත් that is fine. But ඊට වැඩියෙන් plagiarism තිබ්බොත් teachers ලා marks දෙන්නේ නැහැ. You have to ended up in 0 marks. Okay. So what you can do? මේ plagiarism නැති කරන්න මොකද කරන්න පුළුවන්? Any ideas? If you have done this before, what did you do? ඔයාලා මොකද කරේ? Paraphrase. Yes, very good. So I'm going to copy this. මම ඔයාලට පෙන්නන්නම් කොහොමද කරන්නේ කියලා. Yes, paraphrasing, use alternative words. Yeah. So I copied this and now I'm coming to this Quillbot. What I told you, what I mentioned you before. මෙන්න මේ Quillbot එකේ ඇවිල්ලා අපි copy කරපු එක මෙහෙම paste කරාම there are so many websites හරිද, but I use this. This is very nice and ඔයාලට පේනවනේ මෙතන type කරලා paraphrase එක click කරාම මෙතන paraphrase වෙලා එනවා. And here මෙතන ඔයාලට synonyms කොහොමද එන්න ඕනි කියලා හදන්න පුළුවන්. සමාන පද ගොඩක් ඕනේද, අඩුවෙන් ඕනේද? So still it is taking the paragraph. So if you get the premium one, 700කට වැඩිය ඒ කියන්නේ 10,000 යන්න පුළුවන්, but don't do that. Paraphrasing ඕනෙම නැහැ. ඔයගොල්ලෝ plagiarize කරන්න එපා. So එතකොට paraphrasing ඕනෙ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. So මෙතන you can see payment industry has recently seen a surge. ඒගොල්ලෝ rapid growth එකට surge කියලා use කරලා. It was in the use of payment method known as මෙතන දාලා තියෙන mode of payment, but මෙතන දාලා තියෙන payment method. And then BNPL has developed, මෙතන තියෙන්නේ has emerged කියලා. So අන්න ඒ විදිහට they have paraphrased that. So now you can copy this and go to your Grammarly again, and there you can type that. ඒ කියන්නේ මේක මෙහෙමම අයින් කරලා දාලා මෙතන ඔයාලට ඒක type paste කරන්න පුළුවන්. So paste කරාම එතකොට මේ paragraph එකේ plagiarism තියනවා කියලා පෙන්නන එක අඩුයි. පෙන්නන්නෙම නැති තරම්. Let's see. It's loading. Okay. So did you see? ඒ paragraph එකේ plagiarism තියනවා කියලා පෙන්නන්නේ නැහැ. Now the second paragraph. So මේකත් ඔයාලට ඒ විදිහට කරන්න පුළුවන්. But don't do this. හරිද? ඔයාලා ඔයාලගේ ideas වලින් ලියන්න. බැරිම වෙලාවක නිකන් අර ඔයාලගේ ideas එක්ක තව ඔයාලට ideas mix කරන්න ඕනේ නම් you can take information from Google, but not the exact things. මේ ඒකම එහෙම් පිටින්ම අරගෙන මෙතනට දාන්න එපා. Okay? So Grammarly is really important, really useful application. So you can use Grammarly for all the things. So coming back to the presentation. Okay, now I showed you Grammarly and then I showed you Quillbot. We'll go to WordPress. WordPress. Okay, WordPress account එක ඔයාලා හදාගන්න ඕනේ. So මෙතන I have a blog written. So මේක මම ලියපු blog එකක්. So tips for publishing powerful blog content. මෙන්න මේකේ මම අර ඔයාලට කලින් කිව්වනේ SEO and readability කියලා දෙකක්. මෙතන පෙන්නනවා ඔයාලගේ readability and SEO. මෙතන good කියලා මගේ තියෙන්නේ, but මම edits කරන්න නැතුව තිබ්බොත් මෙතන good කියලා පෙන්නන්නේ නැහැ. So can you see two green faces here? Yes නේ පේනව නේද? You can see, right? Is it visible? Okay. So here in SEO what we have is focus key phrase. මෙතන තියෙනවා focus key phrase කියලා. මම ඒකට topic එකම දැම්මා tips for publishing blog content, but if I remove that මෙතන කොළ පාට එක යනවා. Okay? And මෙතන තියෙන SEO title කියලා ගන්න. මෙන්න මේ SEO title එක තමයි ඔයාලා මොකක් හරි website එකක් search කරාම මෙතන එන්නේ. ඒ website එක මොකක්ද කියලා. So අන්නේ ඒක එන්නේ මෙන්න මෙතනින්. ඊට පස්සේ meta description කියන්නේ ඔයාලා දැන් මොකක් හරි එකක් search කරපුවම අර වැටෙන්නේ website link එකත් එක්ක චූටි description එක ඊට පස්සේ අනිත් website link එක. So that is this meta description. මෙන්න මේ description එක තමයි වැටෙන්නේ. මොකක් හරි එකක් ඔයාලා search කරද්දී. ඊට පස්සේ දැන් මගේ තියෙනවා මේ green face එකක්. මුලින්ම තියෙන ඔයාලගේ මෙන්න මෙහෙම face එකක්. Then it becomes orange color, and then if all good it becomes green. So here මගේ තව ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා. So WordPress is showing I have 5 good results. So I have used outbound links. Always you can use links in your blog. කියන්නකෝ දැන් ඔයාලා WHO එක ගැන ලියනවා මොනවා හරි. Okay? So you can paste the link of WHO to that blog. එතකොට කෙලින්ම එයාලව direct වෙනවා WHO website එකට. So outbound links කියන්නේ that. Internal links means any links that you have within your organization. Then mage organization එක Rotaract. So Rotaract වල මොනවා හරි internal links තියෙනවා නම් Rotaract website එක, so I can use that link. So if I am talking about Rotaract here, if I am telling an event about Rotaract, so I can copy and paste the Rotaract website link here. Okay, so ඒක. And meta description link, meta description කියන්නේ මෙන්න මේක. So මෙතන ඔයාලට පේන if I remove some words, it becomes orange, right? So it becomes orange. So if I add some words, it becomes green. So meta description එක green කරගන්න. So that is really important. And text length, the text contains 764 words. Good job. So article එකකයි blog එකකයි වෙනස, in an article you can use words like limit එකක් නැහැ. You can use words like 1000 පන්නලා, but in a blog it is really short and sweet. You can use pictures and you can use numbers. Blog එකක් very short, හරිද? So the මේ blog එකේ you have 674 words. So they have said good job. And then SEO title width, SEO title width මෙන්න මේක. So මෙතන මම මේ ටික තව අයින් කරොත්, so it becomes green. Green වුණාම SEO title width එක මෙතනට එනවා. Improvements කියන තැන. So ඒක මම ආයෙ improve කරොත්, if I add something, SEO title width එක good. Okay, තේරුණාද? And image alt attributes කියන්නේ now you are using images, right? ඒතර මෙතන මේ තියෙන pen එක, මෙන්න මෙතන ඔයාලා alternative text image එකේ නම source එක ඔයාලා කොහෙන්ද ගත්තේ අන්න ඒවා දෙන්න ඕනේ. And you can update it. So එහෙම image එකට දීලා තිබ්බොත් attributes කොහෙන්ද ගත්තේ මොකක්ද ඒක කියලා, මෙතන it becomes good. Here now WordPress is saying to improve that. And then key phrase length, key phrase කියන්නේ මෙන්න මෙතන focus key phrase එක මම දාලා තිබ්බේ tips for publishing powerful blog content. A length එක මේ no focus key phrases was set. Okay, මෙතන දැන් කියනවා no focus key phrase ලු මම දැන් type කරනවා tips for powerful blog content. Now let's see. Okay, now can you see key phrase එක මෙතනට ඇවිල්ලා good විදිහට. Now I have 11 good results and I have 2 problems. So make really it's fine. 11 results තියෙනවානේ, so the face becomes green. So මෙතන මේ දෙක හරි, ඒ කියන්නේ මේ දෙක කරන්න බැරි වුණාට කමක් නැහැ. 11 results තියෙන නිසා WordPress is showing a green face. එතකොට I'm good in SEO. Okay, and then coming to readability වල බලන්න අර මම කිව්වා active voice passive voice එක, ඊට පස්සේ paragraph length, sentences length, transition words, ඊට පස්සේ transition words කියන අර and but ඒවා, therefore however, ඊට පස්සේ මේ තියෙන flash reading is. දැන් මගේ මේ blog එකේ score එක 73% too. That means ඒක හොඳ තැනක තියෙනවා, can read. But score එක අඩු වුණොත්, අර මම ඔයාලට පෙන්නුවේ score එක අඩු වුණොත් that is difficult to read. So මෙතන they are like telling you are using enough active voice. That's great. That means don't use passive voice. ඊට පස්සේ there is enough variety in your sentences. That's great. Paragraph length, none of the paragraphs are too long. Here can you see paragraphs වල 3යි, maximum 4යි blogs වල. මේක image එක තියෙන නිසා මෙහෙම වෙලා තියෙන්නේ, නැත්නම් 3 or 4. And then subheading distribution. One problem is there, subheading distribution. So when writing blogs or when writing articles, use subheadings. The method I have used subheadings. Research your topic before start writing and know your audience. Write compelling headlines. So those are subheadings or bullet points. So eva use කරපුවම මෙතන ඒක problem එක අයින් වෙනවා. So I have 6 good results. So WordPress is giving me a green face. So now I am good to go with this blog. So here the readability is good, SEO is good, and now what I am doing is I am inserting a featured image. Already image එකක් දාන්න පුළුවන්. And then what you have to do is publish this. මේක publish කරාම this blog is coming to your website. Okay. So yeah, so that is about WordPress. Is there a anything that you didn't understand? So it's easy. WordPress එකේ ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් දැම්මොත් මොකද එතකොට මට ආයෙ මේකට එන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. Is there anything? Okay. Okay. So yeah, I'll go to G Suite as well. I hope you can see the tab. Can see, right? So yeah, now you have your email address. So in your email address here you have so many applications. මෙතන මේ drive කියලා තියෙනවා නේද? So you can go to drive. A lot of people might know this, but there can be people who don't know this. So for them, okay. So here you have new. So from here you can click this new. If you click this new, okay. So if you click this new, there will be some options. Folder, file upload, folder upload. Here you can see the G Suite applications: Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, Google Forms, Google Docs එකට ගියාම ඔයාලට අර Microsoft Word වගේම document එකක් open වෙනවා. So you can edit all your things here. ඒක auto save වෙනවා Microsoft Word එකේ. We have to save that. If not current එකේම ගියාම ඒකත් යනවා. But here auto saving. And if you send this link to someone else, they can also come to this and edit with you. So දෙන්නටම එකතු වෙලා මේක edit කරන්න පුළුවන් එක වෙලාවට. Okay, that is the very specialty of G Suite applications. Okay. Okay. So moving on. I'll go to the presentation again. Okay, so now we talked about Microsoft Office. Microsoft Office all done Microsoft Word, and then we have G Suite, and then WordPress, Grammarly, Quillbot. There can be so many tools. Maybe just some tools. Content writing. Okay, so coming to skills needed for content writers, right? Anyone can become a content writer if you have these skills. So first thing is different writing styles. If you have so many writing styles that like you can write articles, you can write blogs, you can you can write about animals, you can write about people, and you can write about political issues, sports. So if you have different writing styles and different themes, you can become a content writer. And excellent research ability, as I mentioned before, research can become very, very important because yes, all the ideas තියෙන්න පුළුවන්, but if you research Google, there like you can find some new ideas, new points, right? So you have to research. So that is really important. So I'm getting questions. I will answer all the questions at the end. Okay. So the next thing is unique and creative. Yes. So like yes, හැමෝටම ලියන්න පුළුවන්, it's true, but ඔයාලා ලියන එක not creative නම් unique නැත්තම් වෙන කවුරු හරි ලියපු එකක් ඔයාලගේ නමින් ඔයාලා publish කරනවා නම් අනිත් අය ඒක ඇවිල්ලා කියවන්නේ නැහැ නේ, and that is not a good ethic for a content writer. So you should write your own are there black spots? Wait, I'll share again. Now okay, right? Okay. Okay. Yes. So you should be creative and you should use your own words. So it should be unique. And then, yes. මේ වගේ චූටි හරි knowledge එකක් you should have. Microsoft Office, G Suite, SEO, WordPress. You have YouTube, right? So YouTube එකේ නැති දෙයක් නැහැනේ. So ඔයාලා free time එකකට ගිහිල්ලා මේවා චුට්ට YouTube videos බලන්න. එතකොට you can learn a lot of things about these things. And yes, so I wanted to tell this. There are so many myths about content writing, right? Myths කියන්නේ මොනවද? අර මිත්‍යා මත. Like content writing is simply writing කියලා කියනවා සමහරව. Yes, it's writing, but like not just writing. You have to give a message to the society. You have to motivate people. Like ඒක තමයි content writing. Okay, not simply writing. You have to write properly. And content writers have marketing degrees. So did I have a marketing degree? No. So marketing degree එක ගෝනේ නැහැ content writer කෙනෙක්ට. If you have the passion එක තියෙනවා නම්, passion කියන්නේ කන passion නෙවෙයි. ඔයාලට කැමැත්තක් තියෙනවා නම්, interesting නම් ඔයාලා interested නම්, you can be a content writer. Okay, so I have that passion. මම content writing වලට මාළම කැමතියි. So that's why I'm writing today. So if you have the passion, you can do content writing. No need of a degree. And content writing is all about SEO. SEO SEO. So සමහරු කියනවා content writing is all about SEO. No, that is not all about SEO. Blogs විතරයි SEO අදාළ වෙන්නේ. අනිත් ඒවාට SEO අදාළ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. But සමහරු ඉන්නවා blogs ලියන අය, they are not considering any SEOs or any readability. They are just writing their blog. එතකොට එහෙම ඒවා audience කැමති වේද? මොකද ඒක read කරන්න බෑ, not understandable. And there are no images, there are no like proper grammar නැහැ, mistakes. So එහෙම ඒවා බෑනේ. ඒ නිසා තමයි SEO කියලා එකක් තියෙන්නේ blogs වලට. Content writers mirror existing content. That is also another myth. That means තව කෙනෙක් ලියපු එකක් තව content writer කෙනෙක් mirror කරනවා. ඒ කියන්නේ same thing. එහෙම නැහැ. Okay, so every content writer has his or her unique ideas, unique themes. So නැත්නම් අපිට content writer කෙනෙක් වෙන්න බෑ. So use your unique style and write content. So these are some myths. So all these myths are busted. Okay, so in the job area, so in the future, if you are becoming someone in the content writing area, that is really, really important because you can earn a lot of money. So I'm doing some part-time jobs. Even doing part-time jobs, I earn money. Okay, so writing content means you can earn so like money. So these are some job profiles that a content writer can work on. So moving on, yes, freelance writer. So can I get answers on this? Who is a freelancer? Are there any freelancers here? Freelancers like not මෙතන. I'm not a freelance writer yet. Do you know what freelancing is? Yes, no? Can I get answers? Okay. Yes. So freelancing is, that means now we are not in a part of an organization. අපි කොහොමවත් organization එකක හෝ society එකක වැඩ කරන්නේ නැහැ. But we are getting assignments. We are getting tasks. Okay. A person who work for himself, not attached to a company. Yes, true. So like we are not attached to a company, but we are getting tasks from all sorts of companies, and not only in Sri Lanka, අනිත් countries වලුත් අපිට task එවනවා. So we are doing that task in a short period of time and sending back. So freelancing willing, you can earn money. Okay. So a best platform for earning money is Fiverr. So Fiverr කියන්නේ not for only content writers. Anyone can go and see. Just go and see. Type Fiverr. You can go to the website. There are so many opportunities for you. Not only for content writers. So my Fiverr කියන එකේ so ඔයාලා ගිහින් ඔයාලගේ profile එක හදන්න. So I'm doing this. I can translate Sinhala to English. I can translate Sinhala to French. I can do content. I can write content. I can write blogs. So එහෙම දැම්මම ඕනම රටක ඉඳගෙන ඕනම රටක ඉන්න කට්ටිය so ඒක දකිනවා. ඒක දැක්කම they are sending you task. So ඔයාලා task කරලා ඒගොල්ලන්ට ආය send back කරනවා. So they are paying you. So that is called freelancing. Okay, so proofreading. Proofreading is really important. Proofreading කියන්නේ මෙතනින් තමයි ඔයාලගේ තියෙන mistakes හොයාගන්නේ. So if there are any mistakes, you can find when proofreading. So if you can't proofread, you can give your content to another person. හොඳට ඒ කියන්නේ කියවන්න පුළුවන් හොඳට mistakes හොයාගන්න කෙනෙක්ට ඔයාලගේ article එක යවන්න proofread කරන්න කියලා. මොකද තමන්ගේ mistakes තමන්ට හොයාගන්න බැරුවත් ඇති. So when කෙනෙක්ට යවපුවම he or she can find mistakes, right? So ඒක තමයි proofreading. So අනිවාර්යෙන් proofread කරන්න caption එකක් හෝ description එකක් හෝ anything you have to proofread again. So there can be mistakes. Okay, so as I told before, don't plagiarize. Plagiarism is prohibited. Universities වල schools වල ඕන තැනක plagiarism කරන්න බෑ. Plagiarism is taking content from other authors and writing them as your own content. එහෙම කරන්න එපා නේද? So අනිත් අයගෙන් content ගන්න එපා. So ඔයාලගේ ideas ගන්න මෙහෙම අනිත් අයගේ ideas හොරකම් කරන් යන්න එපා. So what like there are certain times like you can take ideas from others, but ඒ වගේ වෙලාවට you have to check for plagiarism. Plagiarism check කරන්න there are enough websites. Grammarly is one of them, one of the websites, so you can use Grammarly as well. Okay, so now we have come to journalism. Now done about content writing. So what is journalism? So here I have highlighted some words, some keywords in colors. So I have highlighted gathering. So journalism is the activity of gathering. Gathering we are gathering data, we are gathering information. Now think bombeyak gahana, okay? So අපි එතනට යනවා හෝ අපි call කරනවා, we are talking to the people. So එහෙම කරලා අපි information gather කරනවා, okay? And then we are assessing information gather කරනවා. මිනිස්සු දැන් information දෙනවා අපිට, but අපි දන්නේ ඒවා හරිද වැරදිද කියලා. So we have to assess, we have to check for correct information, and then creating information check කරලා ඊට පස්සේ we are creating the news. Okay, journalism is simply news කියන පැත්තටම තමයි ගොඩක් journalism යන්නේ. So now we are creating our news, and then what we do is presenting our news and information to the public, a larger audience. Articles, blogs එහෙම පොඩි audience එකකට යන්නේ, but journalism වල තියෙන්නේ larger audience එකකට යනවායි news එක. So there are so many types of journalism. මේවා some of them: investigate, watchdog, online, broadcast, opinion, sports journalism. There are some journalisms who only do sports news විතරක් ලියන අය ඉන්නවා, political news විතරක් ලියන අය ඉන්නවා. And these are some modes of journalism. There are 3 types: printed ones, that means newspapers, magazines. It is broadcasted ones, televisions, radio, websites, and blogs. So I am a news editor in the last one, website. So මං අයිති වෙන්නේ මෙන්න මේකට website. Don't know whether I will go to these two in the future. Let's see. So I am now in this websites. Okay. So there are 5 W's of journalism. Can someone tell? What are the 5 W's? Journalism වල විතරක් නෙවෙයි, ඕනෙම content එකක we have these 5 W's. What are the 5 W's? At least one. Can I see? එකක් හරි. අපි මොකක් හරි news එකක් ලියද්දි මොනවද අපිට ඕන කරන දේවල්? Yes, very good. Who? Yes, it's correct. What? Where? Right. What? When? Where? Yes. Okay, seems like you know. Okay, so who was it? What they did? Where that was happened? And when? The date and time? And why it happened? So these are 5 W's. And also we have another thing, how. So when you write a news or when you write a content, මෙන්න මේ ටික තියනවාද කියලා හොඳට බලන්න. මේ ටික තියනවා නම් you are successful. Okay. So now I have a news for you. So මෙතන තියෙනවා news එකක්. 33-year-old wife killed by husband's iron rod. So husband wife මරනවා iron rod එකකින්. So මෙතන news එකක් තියෙනවා. I'm not going to read this. මං අහන්නේ. Now we'll see those 5 W's and how in this. Okay, so first thing is who. Can I get some answers? Who was like me news එක around whom? කවුරු ගැනද මේ news එක තියෙන්නේ? So for this I need answers. Okay, so yeah, කවුරු ගැනද මේක තියෙන්නේ? Who? The news is about whom? කොහොමද answers මෙහෙම ගොඩක් එන්න ඕනේ? The couple, okay, nice. The wife and husband, yes. Husband, yes. Husband of the 3-year-old wife, okay. Couple, husband, okay. Sama says the couple, but Sama says the wife, husband. Not only husband, right? Also his wife. Dennam sambandha. So who එක තියෙන්නේ මෙන්න මෙතන. Husband උයි යාගේ wife උයි. And then we have what? Sorry. So what? මොකද්ද මෙතන වෙන්නේ? මොකක්ද news එක? The news is about what? මොකක්ද news එක මොකක් ගැනද? Death, murder, murder. Okay, yes. So news එක මෙන්න මේක. Simply the headline. 33-year-old wife killed by husband's iron rod. ඒක තමයි වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. So අපේ what එක ඒක. And then we have where. Okay, where this incident has happened. කොහෙද මේක වෙලා තියෙන්නේ? Pamunuwa Road, yes. Pamunuwa Road, Maharagama. Yes, in the Pamunuwa Road area in Maharagama. So that is the place that this incident has happened. So where එක this. And then we have when this has happened. කවදාද මේක වෙලා තියෙන්නේ? September 16, yes. So just imagine that we don't have this September 16, but we have yesterday. So yesterday means EA, but I'm reading this in the next week. Okay, so I'm reading this news in the next week. So I'm reading this and I feel like this has happened yesterday. Yesterday නෙවෙයි උනේ නේ, මේක උනේ last week. So that's why we are including the date in the brackets or brackets අයින් කරලා උනත් ලියන්න පුළුවන්. Yes, yesterday afternoon, September 16th. Okay, so that is the when. So why this has happened? මොකද්ද මේ වෙලා තියෙන්නේ? මොකද්ද මේ news එක? Why husband wife kill කරලා තියෙන්නේ? So why now we have why. Answers for why. Why? Because of a family dispute. Then run වෙලා. So that is why මෙයා මරලා තියෙන්නේ. So අපේ why එක මේක. And next we have how. Yes, how. කොහොමද මරුවේ? කොහොමද මරුවේ? මරුවේ beats his wife to death with an iron rod. මරලා තියෙන්නේ මෙන්න මෙහෙම. Wife ට ගහලා iron rod දෙකකින්. So this is the complete news. You have all the 5 elements of W's and you have how. So make them a complete news. So make sure if you are writing any content, not only news, any content, any description, you should have these 5 W's and how. So I have skills essential for a journalist. You should have the knowledge of journalism, not all, some knowledge, and digital literacy, not only writing, digital and grasping power. Now, someone is telling about a news, you should have the understanding, grasp research skills, attention to detail, and problem solving abilities. Good of problems in our journalist letters, so solving ability, objectivity and logical reasoning. Yes, and ethics of broadcast journalism. There are some ethics. Persistence means communication skills, it is very important. Writing skills, acquaintance skills, that means friendly vendor. Digital skills, yes, as I mentioned here. So moving on, these are some journalism ethics. Journalist honesty it was independence. Journalist කෙනෙක් independence. එයාව කොහෙන්වත් push කරන්නේ නැහැ. ඔයා මේක දාන්න මෙහෙම දාන්න එහෙම කියන්නේ. So journalists should be very free. Fairness, not biased. ඒ කියන්නේ parties දෙකක් තියෙනවා. So මම එක පැත්තකට support කරලා ලියනවා. එහෙම වෙන්න බෑ. You should not be biased. Fair එකක් වෙන්න ඕන. And public accountability, harm minimization එන ඔක්කොම problem solve කරන්න ඕනේ. Proper attribution. ඒ කියන්නේ හරිම news එක දෙන්න ඕනේ වැරදි news නැතුව. Yes, process is coming up with an idea, making an article plan, including the story, and gathering information. You can conduct interviews to gather interviews. When you are doing projects at the school or in the university, you are interviewing people. Interview the surveys or answers. It is a compilation and modification. Because I got the news gather modify because you can publish that. After publishing, feedback, make sure to get the feedback. And these are some opportunities that a journalist can go. Like you can go to, if you want to go to a journalism field, some opportunities. Also videographers, photographers, graphic designers, journalism field opportunities. Okay. So yes, anyone can do this. So yeah, so that is about journalism. And one important thing is sources. So when you are writing anything, මොනවාම හරි article එකක් හරි blog එකක් හරි news එකක් හරි මොනවා හරි ලියද්දී you have to mention the source and you have to use credible websites. That means .com websites use කරන්න එපා. You can use .gov, government websites, education website, organization websites. ඒ වගේ තියෙන sources somewhat reliable. So you can use those. And check trust signals. Trust signals කියන්නේ now you are going to a website. ඒ වෙබ්සයිට් එකේ බලන්න ඒක ලියපු author ඉන්නවද? වෙබ්සයිට් එක publish කරපු dates අරන් මේවා තියෙනවා. So ඒක ඔක්කොම තියෙනවා නම් that is a good website. So ඒවා check කරන්න. ඊට පස්සේ you have to cite sources. If you are taking information from another site in your blog, at the end you have to cite. මම මේක මෙතනින් ගත්තා කියලා cite කරන්න ඕනේ. ගත්ත වෙබ්සයිට් එක ගත්ත lines ඒවා cite කරන්න ඕනේ. ඊට පස්සේ මෙතන තියෙනවා 3 types of sources: primary sources, secondary sources and tertiary sources. Primary sources වෙන්නේ මිනිසුන්ගේ diaries කියන්න එපා, but if you get a diary, yes, speeches, interviews, autobiographies, websites and also novels, poetries, photographs, they are primary sources. And secondary sources when bibliographies, commentaries, criticisms, essays, ඊට පස්සේ yes again websites, journals. Okay, so tertiary sources: abstract dictionaries, encyclopedias, handbooks. So these are tertiary sources. So you can use these sources. You can take the advantage of these sources. There are plenty of sources in the internet. Okay, so now we have talked about content writing and journalism. Now we are coming to a very interesting topic: email writing. So before that, I want to see your energy level. So can I get a number? 1 is woo, 2 is hungry, but okay. 3 is cool, 4 is awesome. You still have the full energy. 4 now. Can I see answers? 4. Nice. 4. Badigini another. 4, 4, 4. Wow. Others? So make it a go. 1, 2, 3 or 4. Wow, there are so many 4s. මගෙත් energy level වැඩි වුණා. Okay, cool එකනිකුත් ඉන්නවා. Hungry people නෑ වගේ. ඉන්නවා. So if you are hungry, go and get a coffee or a tea and come again. Nice to see there are so many energetic people here. So let's go to the next one. So this is email writing. Email කියවම අපි letters චුට්ටක් බලමු. So emails and letters ගත්තම formal emails formal letters at the same time we have informal letters and formal letters. Okay, so formal letters කිව්වම formal නම් ඒක professional ගොඩක් අපි මොකක් හරි professional දෙයකට කාට හරි company එකකට හෝ president කෙනෙක්ට secretary කෙනෙක්ට we are writing an email or a letter. And then in a formal email or a letter there's a structure එකක් තියෙනවා. And then flow එකක් තියෙනවා. මෙන්න මෙහෙම තමයි මේක වෙන්න ඕන කියලා prescribed flow එකක් තියෙනවා. So business objectives කියන්නේ අයි මම මේ email එක යවන්නේ. There's an objective. And official, it is really official. Rather than sending a WhatsApp message, email එකක් means it is official, accurate, හරියටම හරි, legal and authentic. ඒක ඇත්තටම අපි කියමු email එකක් කියන එක legal document එකක් විදිහට ගන්න පුළුවන්. හරිද? So if you are partnering up with a company, so company එකේ ඔයාලගේ legal document එක විදිහට email එක you can take. And informal පැත්තට આવොත් informal emails මත් නෙවෙයි, but letters, emails, friends letter, family එකට it was ඒවා unplanned, plan කරලා නෙවෙයි ඔයාලා යවන්නේ. And flow එකකුත් නෑ, ඔයාලට ඕන දෙයක් දාන්න පුළුවන් නේ email එකේ. And personal needs, ඔයාලගේ personal දේවල් දාන්න පුළුවන්. And it is unofficial, non-verified. So this is very important. 7 C's of communication මේක ඕනම දෙයකට important. So first thing is clarity. Clarity is it should be simple, not very difficult words. Don't use difficult words, long words. It should be very simple and organized විදිහට තියෙන්න ඕන. එක තැන්වල එක දාලා එහෙමත් නෙවෙයි. Conciseness means get to the point. Don't speak unnecessary things. අර ඔක්කොම වැදගත් නැති ඒවා දාන්න එපා. Get to the point. Correctness, yes. Correct වෙන්න ඕන ඔයාලා දාන points ඔක්කොම. Facts, all of these facts. Okay. So ඔයාලගේ facts ඊට පස්සේ ඒ හැමදේම correct වෙන්න ඕනේ. And then you have consideration. So now think that website එකක තියෙනවා මේ දෙයක් but අපිට 100% guarantee කරන්න බෑ if ඒක ඇත්තද නැද්ද කියලා. So you have to consider again. You have to check again. ඒක හරිද නැද්ද කියලා. Concreteness is be specific. Don't use unnecessary things. Be specific and don't use lengthy ones. Get to the point. And then courtesy. Courtesy means politeness. We should be polite when sending emails. Friendly විදිහට යවන්නේ formal ones, formal emails වල. Okay. So coming to emails, now letters ගැන අපි බැලුවා. So emails වලට ආවම email එකක purpose එක තමයි to introduce something or to inform something. You have this meeting at this time. So inform. To request something. Can I get this partnership or like that, to request something, or as a reminder, you have this webinar at this time. As a reminder, you can send an email. So email structure. There's a structure in the email. You can take notes, Lamai. So there's a structure in the email. First thing is addressing. Mama tennan separately. Addressing. And then subject. There's a subject in the email. And then there's a salutation. You have to greet them first. And then message body. Body එක තියෙන්න ඕනේ. And then attachments. If there are some attachment, if there are some PDFs, photographs to send, you can use attachments. And then finally there should be a signature. So make them an email structure. So coming to first thing, addressing එකක අපි දාලා තියෙනවානේ 2cc bcc කියලා තියෙනවා. 2 එක දාන්නේ if he or she is responsible to take that action. එයා ඇත්තට මේක කරන්න ඕනේ නම් එයාට ඒක යවනවා 2. මේ එක email එකක් යවනවා නම් you can use 2 එක. CC නම් you have to CC people, like if you are sending some email to your members, club members, you have to CC your president, CC your secretary. ඒගොල්ලන්ට මොකුත් actions ගන්න නැහැ but ඒගොල්ලෝ දැනගන්න ඕනේ ඔයාලා යවුවා කියලා. So you have to CC the people. ඊට පස්සේ BCC use කරන්නේ. Now think that you are sending emails to 200 people. So ළමයි 200කට emails යවනවා. So you can't put all the email addresses in 2. 2 එකේ email 200ම දැම්මොත් 200 මෙහෙම එක දිගට පේනවානේ. So එකයි we use BCC and to protect the email addresses. Like our email addresses ඔක්කොම අනිත් අය දැක්කොත් එතන මේ problems නේ. So to protect we are using BCC. BCC දැම්මම ඔයාලට ඔයාලගේ email එක විතරයි පේන්නේ. So addressing එකේ මේ තුන එන්න ඕනේ. ඒ තුන හරියට use කරන්න. And then subject එක අර newspaper headline එකක් වගේමයි. ඒක convey කරන්න ඕනේ ඔයාලගේ main point. So descriptive subject. Now just for an example, we have a meeting today. So we are in the subject, we are just putting meeting. So ඒක හරිද? No. අපි දන්නේ මොන meeting එකද කියලා. So we have to be a little precise and descriptive. The general meeting of the Rotary Club. An easy handling by the use of IMP URG. What is IMP URG? Answers in the chat. What is IMP? IMP? Oh, Nanda. Yes, IMP means important. URG? Urgent, yes. So ඔයාලගේ email subject එකේ මුලින් මෙහෙම IMP URG කියලා දැම්මම ඔයාලා යවන එක නම් අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම මේක බලනවා. So you use these words IMP URG, important, urgent. Hi, hello. Vague subjects. Don't use these hi, hello in the subjects. And no email with no subject. Subject එකක් නැතුව නම් emails යවන්න එපා. So use any kind of මොකක් හරි subject එකක්, but it should be a good one. And we come to salutation and the closing. In the salutation, how you open your email is you can say dear Mr. Dilaka, dear Mrs. Ayesha, or dear sir, dear madam, or you can use the first name, dear Dilaka, like that. And then the closing, you can use yours sincerely, yours faithfully, best wishes, kind regards, best regards. So you can use words like this. This like shows your politeness. හරිද ඔයාලගේ අර politeness එක පෙන්නනවා මෙහෙම ඒවා use කරපුවාම emails වල. And then we are coming to the body. Body එකේ standard professional English, no contractions, no all capitals. But මෙතන සමහරව ඉන්න පුළුවන් they are not very fluent in English. English වල fluent නෑ. ඒ නිසා you can use very simple language, simple words. Don't use hard words. Use simple words. You have to convey the message. So you convey the message using simple words. And then your email should be very short, focused, and readable. Read කරන්න පුළුවන් විදියට තියෙන්න ඕනේ. And then use paragraphs, brevity, and clarity. Yes, paragraphs use කරන්න පුළුවන් email එකක 2 or 3 paragraphs. It's fine. And then it should be clear and short. Yes, identify your cold emails, cold contacts. Cold contacts කියන්නේ your first time sending that email to that person. පළවෙනි email එක ඔයාලගේ යට යවන. එහෙම කෙනෙක්ට යවද්දි දාන්න hello, I am Hilma from this society, this කියලා. So you have to introduce yourself, okay, in the cold email. So this is the message body. And in the attachments, you have to cut paste the relevant parts of the attachment into the body. Body එකේ මොනවා හරි attachments තියෙනවා නම් ඒක දාන්න විදිහ මම පෙන්නනවා. And use URL links to upload. We can use URL links as well and mention about the attached file. So whenever if you are attaching something, PDF එකක් attach කරනවා නම්, photo එකක් attach කරනවා නම් body එකේ දාන්න I am attaching this. Please find my photograph. Please find my PDF attached here. Like that you have to mention. නැත්නම් එයාර email එකේ භාගයක් ගිහින් ඒක close කරොත් යට තියෙන attachment එක පේන්නේ. And if you are using large attachment, ඒක compress කරන්න, or you can use drives. And coming to the signature, you have to use an appropriate signature. So this is my signature. So it should be brief and clear, 5 to 6 lines. So here I have used my name and the designation, and I have used the former designation as well in case if there's a person who have worked with me in the last year. And I have used my organization or the society name and the logo and my mobile address and email. So you can use your social media icons here as well. It should be informative. All the informations are here. Address එක තියෙනවා, mobile number තියෙනවා, email තියෙනවා. So everything is here. ඒතකොට යවනිකන දන්නවා this person is sending me this email. Okay. And then professional update regularly and no quotes, no animation. Yes, this signature you can update regularly. Or phone number වෙනස් වෙනවා you can update here. Address වෙනස් වෙනවා you can update. And no quotes. No quotes. Some lecturers are using quotes. Like you will use them, so that is fine. So this is signature. So before sending, you have to check for spellings, grammar, punctuation marks, and the meaning. Again, already කියන්න ඕනේ වෙන දෙයක්, but you have used separately another thing. වෙන මොකද්දෝ එකක් දාලා තියෙන්නේ. එහෙම වුණාම the purpose is not there. Check recipients. You have to definitely check to CC and BCC. ඔයාලා යවන අයට හරියට දාලා තියෙනවද? CC කරලාද president secretary, CC කරලාද ඔයාලගේ chairman, CEO, director. ඊට පස්සේ BCC කරලාද අදාළ අයව. And then check if the correct file is attached. Yes, file එක හරියට attach කරලාද. සමහර ඉන්නවා file එක attach කරලා but file එකේ name එක තියෙන්නේ hina yana name. That means යාලා rename කරලා තියෙන්නේ ඒ විදිහට. So make sure you rename the file before attaching. එතකොට ඒගොල්ලෝ download කරද්දී අර ඔයාලා rename කරන නමින් තමයි ඒක download වෙන්නේ. Proofread the mail twice if possible, get a second opinion. Yes, proofreading is really important. As I mentioned before, proofread the mail twice නෙවෙයි thrice උනත් කරන්න, and තව එක්කෙනෙක්ට අවලා උනත් කරන්න පුළුවන්. That means you are drafting an email. So if you are like confused with the content, you can send it to your higher official or to a president, and then if he or she is giving you the confirmation, you can again copy and paste it and take the email and send it to the recipients. Okay. And then replies. So now you are getting a mail. Now you have to reply. සමහර ඉන්නවා email එකක් දැක්කත් reply කරන්නේ නැහැ, but don't do that. Do reply to your emails. Do reply to your especially for emails, because a person is sending to you expecting a reply. Reply evan epa we don't have to send, but reply එකක් යවන්න පුරුදු වෙන, that is an ethic in email writing. So replies යවද්දී there's an option called reply and reply all. So මේක හරියට ඔයාලා දාන්න reply කියලා එකක් දැම්මොත් ඒ අවුප් එක්කනට විතරයි, reply all දැම්මොත් අර CC කරපු to දාපු හැමෝටම යනවා. Reply only when required. Yes, ඕනේ නම් reply කරන්න කියලා තියෙනවා නම්, and if you feel like I have to reply, you can reply. Reply within 24 hours. ඒක ඇත්තටම එහෙම කරන්න. අද දාපු email එකකට සතියකින් පස්සේ reply කරන්න එපා. That shows your unprofessionalism. Okay, and if you need time to respond, leave a reply. හිතන්න මොනවා හරි අහනවා, but you need to ask from your president. If so, you can tell, I will get back to you, sir. අර ඒ වගේ මොකක් හරි දාලා මොකක් හරි reply එක යවලා time එක ඉල්ලලා ඊට පස්සේ ඔයාලගේ president ගෙන් අරගෙන ඊට පස්සේ ආයෙ යවන්න තව email එකක්. So this is about replying. So now I'll show you the settings in the email. So I hope you can see my email. Yes. It's loading. Okay. Okay. So සමහර අය ඉන්නවා emails යවන්න කැමතිම නැහැ. They are used to WhatsApp, they are used to SMS, Facebook Messenger, Instagram. Emails යවන්න කැමති නැහැ. So ඒකට ඔයාලට කරන්න පුළුවන් දෙයක් තියෙනවා. So go to settings. මේක ඔයාලට දැක්ක ගමන් එපා වෙනවා වගේ නම් go to settings. There you have so many settings. ඔයාලට කැමති විදිහට හදාගන්න පුළුවන්. You can use a picture එකක් use කරපුවාම ලස්සනට එනවා. Here if I use this, yes, okay. You can use pictures, and then here you have so many settings. You can check, go and see. I tell you about how to insert a signature. Go to all settings. Here also you have so many settings. Here again you have a part called signature. So I'm going to create a new signature. My name of the signature is Rotaract Club. Since this is organized by Rotaract, I'm taking Rotaract Club. Now you can copy paste another signature to this as well. So I'm writing my name and I'm putting something here. Okay. And my mobile number and my address. Okay. So my signature is done now. So now here you have to change this to Rotaract Club. Okay. And then save changes. So now you have set your signature. Now go to compose. Compose එකට ගියපුවම you can see your signature. Automatically it comes. දැන් මේ මම type කරපු එක automatically ඒක ඇවිල්ලා. So signature, if you are typing anything, it automatically comes. And here you can see two monkey it was say you have CC and you have BCC. Okay, and you have here subject you can use these things: important, general meeting, like that you can use. එතකොට ඒක important කියලා ඒගොල්ලෝ දන්නවා, so they tend to open the email. And you can use dear Mr. Vileka, and you can use the body, you can type the body, and at the end disregards, you can use those things. In the emails autocorrect වෙනවා, and I have downloaded the Grammarly app, so whatever I do, whatever the content I make, Grammarly එකකින් මෙතන මට පෙන්නනවා මේ මොනවද තියෙන මේ mistakes. දැන් මගේ මෙතන ඔක්කොම right, easy to read. මම මෙතන මොකක් හරි වැරදි එකක් type කරන්න. Okay, so I have typed it wrongly. So now Grammarly should show that to me. Okay, here Grammarly showed that. Here you have written wrong word. So Grammarly correct that. Okay, so that is why I told about Grammarly. Grammarly is a really important app. And then, yes, so this is the structure of an email and how you can use an email. So moving on, let's go to the presentation. I think that's all. Yes. So thank you so much for listening to me all this time. And like, if you have any questions, you can ask all those questions now. I'm ready to give answers. Yes. I saw some questions in the chat. Can the Aussie help me to find it?
Yes, Miss Hilma, we have some question on chat from chat box. First
Yeah.
one is how to create a catching title for an article.
Okay. So catching title. Like first thing is don't use like 10 or 15 words. You can use just 4 or 5 words. And A words you can take very eye-catchy words like if you use like I'll take for an example. I'll say mm, yes, I will take. So take is a verb. So there are so many synonyms for take, right? You can use grant, you can use achieve, you can use what else? Lay hold of, grasp, class. You have so many nice synonyms, right? So class, grasp, those are really nice. So you can use those things when writing a headline and just see මොන මොන වචන දැම්මොත්ද කට්ටිය කැමති and මොනවද hard, don't use hard words. So those are the things how we can write an eye-catchy headline, a topic. Yes, I hope I gave the answer.
Yes, Miss Ilma, now we have another question from the chat. It's about how about the privacy and the security when we use Grammarly or any other software?
Okay. So in Grammarly, I saw another question previously, like Grammarly is free. Like there are some features which we can get for free, but if we pay, we can get other features as well, but no need, I think. So you can directly download Grammarly from Google and you can type. There are no security things. You can just, what I did, you saw, right? So you go and paste the content and you can check for plagiarism and you can correct your mistakes, correct your grammatical errors, and then you can use it very nicely. No need to think about the security and the privacy. That is all up to you. No one can see that. Only you can see. And it auto saves the work. So it is really helpful. Yeah.
Okay, we have another one. What are the factors that should be considered when deciding on the writing style, like professional and writing, etc.?
Writing style in the sense the area that you are going to take on it.
Yes.
That means, okay. So that it totally depends on you, what you are like, what you like. If I take myself as an example, I like to write about animals generally and sports, and also like things about languages because I love languages. So those are things I love. So I tend to write about those topics. So just think, හිතන්න as they go හිතන්න මොනවද මම කැමති areas. So a කැමති areas just jot down in a paper, just one word: animals, sports, languages, what else? Subjects, courses, people. So you just jot down the words that come to your head. After that, you can take one topic. If I take sports, there are so many things that I can write about sports. I can write about Olympics. I can write about Paralympics. I can write about the people, the sports persons, Susantika, ඊට පස්සේ Tipun, ඒ කට්ටිය ගැන ලියන්න පුළුවන්. අර ඒ වගේ ඒ topic එක, that one word you can break into subtopics. Okay, so subtopics godakagum is subtopics already one paragraph, again one subtopic, one paragraph, like that you can write. Okay, so take one topic and divide it to subtopics. ඒ විදිහට ඔයාලට ගන්න පුළුවන් ඔයාලා කැමති ඒවා.
Yeah,
Yes.
we have another question, that is, can we insert links from any website to an article when we
Yes.
publish it online? Is there any rules like when inserting images?
Yes, when inserting images there are some things that you should consider, but I come to links. Definitely you can go to a website. Shall I show you that? It would be good to show, right?
Okay.
Okay, so I'll go to my presentation. Okay, so now I am going to insert something to this questions area. So I'm going to type questions and I get some websites here. I'm going to take the first website link. You can take the link here, or you can take the link Methanino directly. You can copy the link, and then I'm going to my presentation again, and then I'm going to insert the link. If you are in Google Slides, if you click Control plus K, this box appears, and here you can paste the link and apply. So now I have inserted the link. So if you click that, I can go to that the website which I took the link. Okay, so you can insert the link. So no problem in inserting links. But when it comes to pictures, so pictures world gyama, you have to mention the source from where you took this picture. Now this picture, it is in the women's health website. So you have to mention the source. Yani picture ke යට මම එකක් පෙන්නන්නම්. So I'll show one of my blogs. Here this. So here you have to give the source. From where did you find that? If like ඔයාලම ගත්ත picture එකක් ඔයාලා insert කරනවා නම් no need. But අනිත් අයගේ pictures නේ අපි Google වලින් අරන් type දාන්නේ. එතකොට we have to insert. So this is a picture. So I got from a website. So I have mentioned the source here. Source, this website of this University of Latvia. So like that, you have to mention the source. Yeah.
Okay, we have another one. Any experience to practice and sharpen content creating skills?
Sorry, I didn't hear.
Any exercise to practice and sharpen content creating skills?
Yes. The first thing is you have to read a lot. Read novels, read if you're a part of any society, like ඔක්කොම societies වලින් they are writing content. So Rotaract they have a blog, I guess. Yes. So in that blog there are so many blogs that written by persons, and in their first Facebook page there are articles about animals and environment. So just read them. Don't just like and comment. You have to read. කියවුවොත් විතරයි ඔයාලට අර ඒ skill එක එන්නේ. So you can see how they have written those articles, how they have used those pictures, how they have used the links. So අර ඒවා දැක්කොත් විතරයි you can also write something like that. Okay, so the first thing is read a lot. Free වෙලාවට read. You can ඔයාලට like you have free times, so you go to any, like you can type anything in the Google or like interested area, and there will be so many websites and blogs. So you can just click one and just type and just read it. So if you read, you can take some new ideas, some new points. So the first thing is reading, And the next thing is read kala namattanne epa. You have to try it. You have to try it. So take a topic. අර ඔයාලා read කරපු ඒවා ඒගොල්ලෝ use කරලා තිබ්බ විදිය ලියලා තිබ්බ විදිය ඒ ඔක්කොම ඔයාලා ලියන්න try කරන්න. So that is how you can practice writing. So what a content writer can practice is from writing. So you have to write. ඔයාලා දැකලා ඇති pictures වල අර කොළ ගොඩා ලියලා විසික් කරලා තියෙනවා. So yeah, ලොකු authors ලා උනත් ලියන first මේ article එකම හරියන්නේ නැහැ. they are කොළ ගොඩක් විසික් කරනවා ලියලා. So ඒ වගේ තමයි first write මේ ලියද්දි. So practice writing. So that is the thing I have to tell. ලියලා practice කරන්න and read.
Yeah, okay. So there's another question, and it's a little bit different to what we talked today, but I'll say the question. So it is about the important facts to consider when making a PowerPoint presentation.
Okay, PowerPoint presentation. Okay, first thing is you can use Google Slides or you can use Microsoft PowerPoint. You can use both, but Google Slides is easier because you have so many options. You can directly go to Google and take pictures to that. But when you are using Microsoft PowerPoint, you have to download it and then you have to do it. So can use Google Slides first, and then if you are making a presentation, like don't just type words. Like in my presentation, you saw graphs, some colorful things, right? Not just words. Pictures තිබ්බා words විතරක් තිබ්බේ නැහැනේ. some slides words තිබ්බෙම නැහැ, pictures විතරයි. අර මම email structure එක කියද්දී අර මෙහෙම එකක් ගියා නේද? So you can use those things. ඒවා දැක්කම ඒවා very creative, not අර bullet form වලින් structure එක ඉස්සෙල්ලාම addressing ඊට පස්සේ subject එහෙම දානට අර වගේ graphs use කරන්න, ඊට පස්සේ tables use කරන්න, images. Also you can use videos when presenting slides. And also you can use numbers, bullet points. There are so many options. What you have to do is go to Google Slides, go to Microsoft PowerPoint. There are so many tabs. උඩක් තියෙනවා, ඊට පස්සේ යටත් spellings අරම ඒවා තියෙනවා. Just check all those things. සමහරවිට ඔයාලා slides හදන්න නැති but තාම දන්නේ නැතුව ඒ වගේ තියෙන options. So go to those options and එක එක type කරලා බලන්න. fonts ගොඩාක් තියෙනවා. fonts දදා බලන්න කොයි font එකද ලස්සන. So ලස්සනම font එක ගත්තම ඔයාලගේ presentation එක become more nicer. So in that way you can make nice slides. So go to your slides and just check all the things. So in that way you can make nice slides. I hope I gave the answer. If not, can again put in the chat.
Yes, ma'am. We have another one regarding the websites and blog. What is the exact difference between a website and a blog?
Okay. So the main point is a website we don't usually change it. Website එක අපි ගිහින් අපේ address එක, අපේ about section, ඔක්කොම societies වල, organizations වල we have a mission, we have vision. So ඒවා we don't change, right? But in a blog we are constantly changing things. Blog එකක අපි ගිහිල්ලා ඒවා change කරනවා because we have used so many facts. So we are changing those things. So that is the main thing about websites and blogs. And also like blog is a place where we can attract people. But website එකක් කියන්නේ it is always there. Website එක always there. But blogs, there can be so many blogs. Blogs are in the websites in chronological order. So if you like ඔක්කොම websites වල තියෙනවා blog කියලා section එක. So that is only a section, not a website. So website is really different from blog in that way. And also like blogs are used for so many purposes. Like from blogs, one thing is marketing their society or for PR, public relations. Other thing is they can earn money from blogs. Like blogs ලිවම ඒගොල්ලන්ට සල්ලි හම්බෙනවා from that organization. But websites වල එහෙම නැහැ. Websites create කරන එකනට only he or she is getting that amount. ආය හම්බෙන්නේ නැහැ. But if you are writing blogs, ලියන blog එකක් ගානේ you can earn money. but not like website. Yes, so that is the difference in a website and a blog. Blog is a part of website.
Thank you.
So we have another question about blogs, and it is, can we write a blog about day-to-day life?
Yes, yes. If we take article and a blog, there are some differences. Okay, so we are writing a blog in a personal point of view. Like blog is always a personal view. Like we are writing mata hitana de I am putting into the blog. But articles same we are writing articles about facts. මොනවා හරි තියෙන දෙයක් ගැන තමයි අපි article එක ලියන්නේ. But blogs blogs we are giving our personal experience or personal views. So yes, you can write about personal things. Yes, answer is yes. I got some direct messages as well. Can I get the link for the recording of this session? Yes, I think the organizing committee will send the recording. And are there any other questions?
There's one more question. It's about, is Wattpad a good place to blogs?
Sorry, what?
It's spelled as Wattpad, WATTPAD. I think it's some tool. Someone is asking about a tool. Is it a good place to write blogs?
I haven't came across a tool like that. Is it a tool? The person who
a
sent that
website or something.
Okay.
Wattpad.
Like there are so many websites, there are so many platforms. So you can just go to YouTube or go to that platform itself and do a research. Is this platform is good? Is this website is good to write a blog? Publish කරන්න හොඳයිද මේ website එක popular the famous the. So you can do a research first and then you can start writing, right? So yes, in YouTube and also in Google you have plenty of information about platforms and websites. So just go and see whether it is good and then start writing. I really don't know about this word pad. Wattpad, right? I haven't used that. So if it is good, yes. So you can do a research and then you can find out. I can't tell because I haven't used that. So I can't tell it. So yeah.
Yes, we have another one from chat box. How to push the reader to read the whole content without a spilling off.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay. So if it is about an article is very long, but blog is not a long one, it is a short one. So blogs normally ඔක්කොම කියවනවා, but if it is an article එකක what we have to do is, I told before that you can use so many images, so many graphs, so many tabs, like so many statistics. Yes, so you can use all those things, but when it comes to a blog, you can't use those things. You can use images, but one or two images. Blogs වල අර ඒ වගේ ගොඩාක් use කරන්න බෑ, but articles වල you can use those things to get the attention of the reader. And don't use, as I mentioned before, long sentences, long paragraphs. Paragraph එකේ lines 10ක් විතර තියෙනවා නම් කියවන්නේ නැහැ කවුරුත් නේ. So make your paragraph short, make your words nice words, make nice words. There are a lot of synonyms. Go to Google and type your word. There will be a lot of synonyms. So you can use nice words and you can use images, graphs, and what else? Yes, first of all, you should write your topic in a nice way. Topic එක හොඳයි නම් the readers tend to read all the whole article. Okay, so topic එක හොඳ එකක් ලියන්න. So එතකොට article එක කියවන්න මේ කට්ටිය බලනවා. Yes. Anything else?
I think that's all about the questions. But
yes, those who drop your questions before, can you drop again?
Sorry.
Yeah, there's one more thing. Is it okay to use subtopics in the article?
Yes, definitely. You can use subtopics. Rather than using long paragraphs, you can shorten all those paragraphs using subtopics. Subtopic එකක් දාලා paragraphs කඩන්න පුළුවන්. So you can use subtopics. It's really fine. It makes nice. Yes. Anything else?
I think
Yeah, there's one more.
sorry.
There are certain important points to be considered about keywords when writing a SEO optimized article, like the percentage of using the number of keywords, inserting of keyword into title, etc. Can you briefly explain it?
Yes. So this is about blogs, because in blogs only we are using this SEO. So SEO, as I mentioned, we are using SEO to get our website in the higher rank in the Google search engine pages. ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් අපි if we search a word in the Google, උඩින්ම එන්න ඕනේ අපේ website link එක. So because of that we have to adjust all those options in SEO. SEO වල තියෙන අර keywords දාලා ඊට පස්සේ මම පෙන්වුවා වල. So you have to adjust all these things. You have to make the face to a green face. Green face එකක් කරොත් possibility is higher to bring your website to the higher rank in the Google search engines. නැත්නම් අර pages 1 2 3 4 pages ගොඩාක් යවුවට පස්සේ තමයි අපේ website එක එන්නේ. So if we adjust all the options in the SEO, the possibility to get to the higher rank is very high. Should we create a portfolio if you want to become a content writing freelancer? Yes, a portfolio is really important. I have my own portfolio as well. Portfolio is important when you are applying for jobs, when you are applying for opportunities, because they are asking for your work. මොනවද ඔයා කලින් කරලා තියෙන්නේ, මොනවද ඔයා ලියලා තියෙනේවා. So you if you have a portfolio in the sense, all your work is in a one place. ඔයාලා ලියපු ඔක්කොම articles, ඔක්කොම blogs is in a one place. So that is easy. So you have to just send that portfolio to the interviewer or someone who is getting you. So if you send your portfolio, he or she is looking your portfolio. She has done this. So yes, the possibility to get the job or the opportunity is higher. So yes, maintain a portfolio. Even a caption. Open a Google Doc or a Word doc. So you put all your captions in that. Again, specifically, caption which event, which organization, and your caption. So you can, yes, definitely maintain a portfolio. Yes, anything else? Yes, a feedback form is there. I will appreciate you if you give the feedback for my session, so I can improve in the future. Anything else? Any questions?
Okay, I think we don't have any questions through the chat box, and you nicely answered the questions. Thank you for that. And I'd like to remind about our task. The link of the today task will provide to the chat box. Now you can see that. Please use the link to attempt the task. Tisura?
Yeah. So I think it was really an interesting, rather very interacting session with Rodtractor Hilma. So once again, I thank Rodtractor Hilma for accepting our invitation and joining with us to
Thank
share
you so
your
much
knowledge.
for inviting me as well. It's a pleasure for being a part of this. Thank you so much.
So once again, just a small reminder to our participants the link for the task is open. It's in the chat box, so you can click there and go to the task. So also please give us your feedbacks as well about the session. So that's all for today, and we hope you'll join with us tomorrow for another interesting session about video editing. So until then, goodbye and have a nice time.